Welcome to the Insurance podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the untold stories and myths that has shaped Black history, insurance culture, and economics in America. I'm your host, the Insurance and today we're explaining a powerful yet often overlooked chapter in Black economic history: the rise of Black-owned insurance companies in America. Here's something you might not know. Did you know that in the face of exclusion and racism, Black Americans built their own insurance companies to serve their communities? That's right. When traditional institutions shut them out, they built their own. And in doing so, they laid the groundwork for Black wealth, dignity, and community empowerment. So today, we're going to uncover how necessity, innovation, and resilience gave birth to a powerful movement in the world of insurance, a movement that continues to echo in our communities today. Segment 1: The Roots, Exclusion, and Necessity. Let's start by understanding the world Black Americans were facing after the Civil War. During the Reconstruction era and well into the Jim Crow era, systematic racism wasn't just social, it was institutional and economic. Insurance companies, nearly all white owned, either refused to insure Black people altogether or offered them inferior or more expensive coverage. This wasn't just about business, it was about life or death. Without insurance, Black families were often unable to cover burial costs, medical emergencies, or support dependents after a death. That gap created an urgent need, and out of that need came innovation. Enter mutual aid societies, one of the earliest forms of community insurance. Take the Free African Society, founded in 1787 in Philadelphia. It was created by free Black men like Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, who pooled resources to help members in need, covering burial expenses and offering financial aid during sickness or hardship. Later, we see the rise of Black fraternal organizations like the Prince Hall Masons and the Knights of Pythias. These groups didn't just offer brotherhood and support, they offered structured benefits like burial insurance and healthcare funds. These mutual aid societies were the foundations of what would later become full fledged insurance companies. They reflected a core truth. When Black Americans were denied a seat at the table, they built their own table. Segment 2: Building Black Insurance Companies. By the late 19th century and early 20th century, Black entrepreneurs took that foundation and turned it into a thriving business sector. Let's talk about one of the giants: North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, founded in 1898 in Durham, North Carolina, right here in the Triangle. It started small, but it grew into the largest Black owned business in the United States by the mid 20th century. It wasn't just about policies, it was about power. North Carolina Mutual employed thousands of Black professionals and offered financial stability to a population often excluded from the mainstream economy. Then there's Atlanta Life Insurance Company, founded in 1905 by Alonzo Herndon, a formerly enslaved man who became Atlanta's first Black millionaire. Herndon saw a need and filled it, offering life insurance policies to Black families across the South. These companies were more than businesses. They were institutions. They funded HBCUs, supported civil rights efforts, and helped build what became later on known as Black Wall Street in places like Tulsa, Durham, and Atlanta. Here's why that matters. They created jobs for Black actuaries, Black clerks, Black executives where there were no jobs before. They fostered economic dignity in an era of dehumanization, and they pushed forward progress, invested in education, real estate, and political movements. In essence, Black owned insurance companies became the financial and cultural anchors of their communities. Segment 3, Challenges and Decline. So, what happened? If these companies were so successful, why aren't they as prominent today? Ironically, the very success of the civil rights movement contributed to the decline of many Black owned companies. Insurance firms were not exempt. As integration advanced, Black consumers gained access to white owned insurance companies, and many chose to switch, not because they disliked Black institutions, but because white firms often offered cheaper rates, more coverage options, and broader networks. At the same time, Black insurers faced significant structural barriers. Access to capital was limited. Mergers and acquisitions, they often left Black firms behind. And government support and subsidies for minority owned financial institutions were often lacking. Economic downturns in the 1970s and the 1980s, they just made things worse. And many Black insurance companies were either bought out, they folded, or they just became a smaller version of their former selves. See, it's a painful paradox. The fight for integration, which opened doors and also contributed to the decline of some of the institutions that had sustained Black communities for generations. Segment 4, Legacy and Present Day. Despite the decline, the legacy remains. Companies like Atlanta Life still exist, though in a reduced capacity. And today we're seeing a resurgence, not in the traditional insurance necessarily, but in fintech and insurtech startups founded by Black entrepreneurs who are rethinking financial access in the digital age. At the same time, the disparities persist. I was just actually having this conversation the other day. Studies show that Black Americans are still underinsured compared to white Americans. But financial literacy and trust in financial institutions remain challenges rooted in decades of exclusions and predatory practices. But the message is clear. Supporting Black owned financial institutions is not just about business, it's about community stability, generational wealth, and economic justice. Okay, let's bring it home. Black Americans didn't just demand access to insurance, they created access. In the face of discrimination, they responded with entrepreneurship, innovation, and resilience. They turned exclusion into empowerment. That legacy continues to inspire. Allow that to inspire you to find ways to empower yourself through life insurance and financial planning. If this episode taught you something new, share it with a friend, leave a review, and go ahead and subscribe for more powerful stories just like this. And if you can, explore the legacy of Black financial institutions in your own city. There's history right around the corner. Find an agent like myself, and we'll be happy to tell you more. Until next time, I'm the Insurance Unk, and this is the Insurance Unk Podcast, telling you the stories that shape our future by honoring our past and destroying the myths that have captured our presence. Thank y'all for coming out, and I really respect that. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great one.